Hey, what's up, Dividend Nomads? Welcome back to the channel. I got a lot of stuff to share with you today, and I think you're going to find some of it useful and helpful information, and just a lot of different things I want to talk about. So maybe this will be a longer video, but also I want to share with you actually my ideas about the video uploads as well, because I've changed my mind on that. But that's not the main part of this video. The main point of this video is to share with you my ideas going forward and what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to make some changes in the portfolio. Now, I mentioned these things to you guys before, actually. Let's just go back for a minute here. I told you guys several months ago, before the election happened, that I thought the market wasn't going to be very good in 2025. And I told y'all that I wanted to have more of my money in the indexes and less in the single stocks. And that still holds true to this day, but I didn't make the move fast enough. So my portfolio is beat up just like everybody else's. So let's talk about that first for a second, and then I'll get into the details of the portfolio and what I'm going to change in it, or all the things that I'm thinking of changing, how I plan on changing those. But before we get into that, let's talk about the high yield dividend space. So as you all know, everybody's portfolio is beat up, whether you're in high yield dividends or you're not high, or if you're something else that's not high yield dividends. Your portfolio has been getting beat up lately, no matter what you're in. Now, for example, if you watch other high yield dividend YouTubers, well, there's a bunch of them out there, but I guess I'm referring to the ones who actually share their portfolio and let you see what their portfolio looks like, because it's the transparency and truth behind it instead of what somebody just says. And I want to see people's portfolio to see that they're actually being transparent. That's why I show you mine. But if you look at people, for example, say like Kamara, we the Kamaras, you can see his portfolio has been beat up really bad, getting margin calls a lot. I see other YouTubers posting even just their thumbnails like, oh, I got margin call. Like everybody's talking about they get margin call, and not just margin call. Like even myself, I'm not using margin, but I mean my portfolio has been beat up really bad. So I'm no different than anybody else. And then if you look at some of the other guys who, for example, we'll talk about Oracle, for example. I know some people love him, some people don't like him at all. I don't have any problems with him, but he makes videos, talks about different strategies, stuff like that. And I think the strategies stuff he talks about are really good. But if you look at his portfolio, also beat up really bad. I think he took like a $40,000 or $50,000 loss. And those are the things that happen when you have too much single stock exposure, no matter what stock you're in, no matter how much momentum it has behind it. When you have that much single stock risk, your portfolio can have a lot of downside movement compared to the overall market if you're not invested in the index. And I've mentioned that to you guys since day one on this channel, that I believe having most of your money in the index is the best thing to do. But I was slow to make that move, so I'm beat up too. So anyway, I'm going to go into my portfolio, show you my portfolio, how bad it's been beat up. And I'm also going to share with you my thoughts and plans that I want to make moving forward. And I'm going to share with you the stocks or tickers that I'm thinking to buy and how I'm going to go about buying those. All right, so that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let me record the screen, show you my portfolio, just so you can have a visual idea of what I have and how I'm going to use it. And I'm also going to, I guess I'll just write it down to make it visual for you, show you what I want to buy and how I want to go about buying it. And I'll share my thoughts and ideas behind that too, because I've got a lot of things to share with you. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll quit talking. 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right, Charles Schwab. I got to log in again. What the hell? I got to cut this off. What the? All right, here we are in my portfolio. Okay, we'll refresh it. Okay, you can see I got $54,962. Now, yesterday I did deposit some money into this account. I deposited $1,500, and you can see my cash is $1,542 because I just deposited some money. So I was actually down even more than what it shows. Well, not down, but I had less money than what it shows here. But I added some money, but I didn't buy anything with that money. You can see it's in the cash. So anyway, $54,962 in my portfolio. Let's go to view all the positions. Okay. So here we go. I've got Misty, 1,000 shares. And first of all, let's talk about Misty before you get anything else. In terms of Misty, I'm not going to add to this right now. I have some friends who are great crypto traders, and they watch this stuff 24/7. And they're like, I'm not a super knowledgeable about crypto. I'm not going to say I am, 'cause I'm not, but I have friends who are, and they keep telling me that there's a lot more downside to BTC coming. And they said there's like a lot of people hovering around 85,000, and some orders around 80,000 also, which means that it could possibly drop that low. And this is kind of a way, I guess, to shake out the paper handed people who are scared, and they sell off all the stuff, and then we might have a run back up again. But there's potentially more downside, which means, Misty could also keep going down because it typically trades like Bitcoin trades, right? So I'm not going to be adding to Misty right now. I'm going to harvest those dividends and put them somewhere else. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute as far as where I would put them. Next thing I've got is Coney, 1,816 shares. And based on what I just told you about crypto, I'm not really loving this either, and I'm not going to add to it. I'm going to harvest the dividends and put them somewhere else. But I'm not going to sell these because, well, they are positive on total return, obviously not on market return, and they're not going to be positive on market return. And this I was like really cost average down, but I don't want to buy them, so I'm not going to be averaging down. I'm going to harvest the dividends, put it somewhere else, and I'm not going to sell these off until I've reached 100% return on investment, which might be a long time. But I'm going to keep them in my portfolio and keep the money and put it somewhere else. Again, I'll share that with you in a minute where I want to put it. The next one we have here is Y-Mag. Now, I have mixed feelings about Y-Mag. Number one, Y-Mag has been pretty stable, and it does, it usually pays around 60 to 70 cents a month, right? And I know it pays it weekly, but all together combined, it's like 60 to 70 cents a month usually. And it doesn't erode too much, and it's pretty stable, so I like that about it. But I don't love the Mag 7, and I'm going to share with you why I don't love it and why this possibly maybe one I'll get rid of if it ever goes positive. But it's negative on market return and negative on total return, but not much because it's a fairly new position. It's down like 1%. But I might cut this, and I'll share with you why I might cut it and what I'll replace it with. But in terms of why I don't like the Mag 7, let's get into that first. Number one is, well, let's just start at the beginning. Tesla. Tesla is part of the Mag 7. And used to love Tesla and like Tesla and all that stuff, but I don't think it's going to do good in the future. And I'll tell you why. I have actually a close friend of mine. He's a Dutch guy, and he showed me, he's into the American stock market and crypto market. He trades everything. He's really smart and knowledgeable dude, and he keeps track of this stuff. But he shared with me some news from Holland. So he read it to me. I couldn't find it in English, but I'm sure there's some English versions available, but it's in Dutch. But he read it to me and told me what it said. And basically, according to the news, the Dutch news, is that Tesla has had 85% decline in sales in Europe. That's just Europe alone. Now, I know for sure in China, because I'm here in China, Tesla has had a huge decrease in sales, also due to price wars and just crazy competition with Chinese EV makers, because there's so many different Chinese EV makers out there, and the prices are lower than Tesla, and the cars are desired more than Tesla due to the quality, like the interior of these cars and all this stuff, the speed, they're amazing. And it's really hard for Tesla to compete in China right now. So their sales are down here, 85% decline in Europe. And even they're also saying on the news, in this news article, people are even dumping their secondhand Teslas, just trying to get rid of them. They don't want them anymore because people are going around spray painting swastikas on them and spray painting swastikas on the Tesla dealership. They're just like defacing Teslas all over Europe, and that's not a good sign. So they even mentioned Tesla was on the verge of possibly being bankrupt within a couple of years due to these declining sales if they can't recover. And so I don't really love Tesla, and Tesla is a big part of the Mag 7. And that's why I don't love Y-Mag. And then another reason why I don't love Y-Mag is because of Apple, right? I mean, I have an iPhone. I love Apple, and Apple it's basically an old man stock now. It's like the Coca-Cola, from 40 years ago. That's what Apple is now. It's not really growing much. For the past decade, it's just kind of been rinse and repeat, and it's been working. But now their sales are declining as well all over the world due to lack of innovation and more competition, especially here in China when it comes to the phone market. Apple was number one. It's no longer number one. They have other competitors like Huawei and Oppo and some others that are making better phones than Apple for less money than Apple, and Chinese people are buying them up left and right. So Apple is part of the Mag 7, and I don't look for them to do great. They might stay stable and be a good company to invest in for, like, for the next 30 or 40 years if you're looking for some long-term stuff. But in terms of like actually growing and growing at a good rate and being volatile enough to pay good dividends, I don't think that's going to happen. Just my opinion. The next one, NVIDIA is part of the Mag 7. NVIDIA's got a lot of competition now too, and I'm not really sure the future of NVIDIA. It's already a $1 trillion company. How much more can it grow? Microsoft, again, I've never really liked Microsoft a whole lot anyway, but so there's a lot of reasons why I don't really like the Mag 7 or trust the Mag 7. I think a lot of them are kind of lacking innovation, and they're kind of dying. And I think there's going to be some new stocks that are going to take over and lead the stock market in the future. So that's why I'm not sure about YMAG. Sorry, long-winded. XDTE, I love XDTE because it's the S&P 500, and I've told y'all since day one on this channel, having your money in the index like S&P 500 is the best place to have your money. So this one, we definitely want to grow this, and this ain't going nowhere, and I will be adding to this. Okay. Tesla, I just told you my thoughts and feelings about Tesla and why I think Tesla is not a great thing to invest in right now. So Tesla, am I going to sell this? No, I'm not going to sell it. It is positive on total return, but I'm not going to add to it. I'm just going to harvest the dividends, put them somewhere else, and then we'll get rid of it eventually, but not anytime soon. Next one, NVIDIA. I don't have many shares, so it's not really worth talking about, but it is negative on market return and negative on total return. And I told you my feelings about NVIDIA, and not deeply, but I just think there's a lot of competition right now. They're going to struggle, and I don't want to spend a bunch of money adding to this when I could be in the index. So I'm not going to add to this either. I'm just going to take the money and put it somewhere else. Okay, so now let's talk about somewhere else. Where is that? So let me open up this. See here on my notes, I put this down, new ETFs. These aren't new ETFs to the stock market, but they're kind of new to me or my portfolio. Okay, and I've checked a whole bunch of different ETFs and compared them back and forth, and like mostly ones that are diversified and index based, whatever, and compared a bunch of them. And these were the ones that I came up with for me that I feel are the best for me and my portfolio. So I showed you already, I have XDTE in my portfolio. I'm going to keep it, and I want to add more to it. The next one you see listed here is QDTE. Now I've checked other NASDAQ based funds like whatever, QQQY, QQQI, QYLD. What else did I check out? The GPIC, GPIQ, and JEPQ. I checked all of them, and QDTE is better than all of those other ones. If there's one that pays dividends, right? Like cover call, NASDAQ ETFs. I think QDTE is the best out of all of those, out of the NASDAQ based ones. So that's why I chose QDTE. I'm going to be adding to that or starting a position in that. And in a minute, I'll tell you how I'm planning on doing this. The next one I have is AIPI. I do believe AI has a bright future, and AIPI is basically, a diversified ETF with different AI plays in it. It has NVIDIA in it, but it has other stuff in it as well. So, if any of those start doing bad, I think AIPI could probably get rid of them and replace it with something else that's doing better, as long as it's like an AI play. So I like AIPI for that, because I believe in the future of AI. And AIPI, they hold the underlyings. They still cover calls on them. Pays a good dividend. And I checked some other AI-based cover call income funds, and there wasn't many that compared to this one. And so that's why I'm thinking of go ahead and going forward with this one as well. Now, the next one you see is YBTC, because like I mentioned, I do believe in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is possibly the future. And if things stay positive for Bitcoin and for this administration things stay positive for Bitcoin in regards to the way this administration is thinking about handling Bitcoin and all the things they said they were going to do, I think it has potential to go up more in the future. So I don't mind owning YBTC because it pays the distribution weekly, pays a decent distribution. So I don't mind owning that. And then the last one you see there is YMAG, because like I mentioned, YMAG has been pretty stable so far. It hasn't had a lot of NAV erosion and it's been pretty stable, but I don't love it. So for now, I'm going to keep it, but I'm not 100% sure about what exactly I'm going to do with it. But it is in my portfolio already and I'm going to keep it. So that's that. Now, how am I planning on buying these? So as I just mentioned, let me go back in my portfolio here. So I just mentioned, you see I have this Misty, Coney, Tesla, and NVIDIA, right? I'm not going to add to these positions. I'm going to keep them though, and I'm going to harvest the dividends from it and use the dividends to buy, I'm going to use the dividends to buy all of these ETFs that you see listed here on my phone screen right now. Now, the way I want to do this, so I already checked this out. I want to just basically ease into these positions with like 100 shares at a time. For example, QDTE is around like $3,900, $3,900 to get 100 shares roundabouts. XDTE around $5,000 for 100 shares. YMAG about $1,700 for 100 shares. YBTC around $4,300 for 100 shares, and AIPI around $4,600 for 100 shares. So why 100 shares? Because in the past, my portfolio has been generating anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000 per month, which basically means if I take every distribution I get and allocate it towards purchasing 100 shares of one of these, usually in 1 to 3 months, I can get 100 shares, right? So what I'll probably do, since I already have more than 100 XDTE, say if I start QDTE tomorrow, for example, I'm just going to put all my money towards there. And if I don't have 100 shares, the next week when I get paid again, I'll put all the money to there and keep doing that every week until I hit 100 shares, which I should be able to hit it in around a month or less than a month, depending on how much distributions I get. So after I reach my 100 shares, what am I going to do? As soon as I hit the 100, I'm going to open up a position in the next one, say AIPI or YBTC. Get to 100 shares, just start a position in the next one. All right, you see where I'm going with this? So then once all these positions you see here on my screen, once they all have 100 shares, then I'll start all over again. Go back to XDTE, 100 shares. QDT, 100 shares, something like that. Who's calling me? So anyways, you guys understand what I'm talking about, right? Somebody's calling me right now. Shay. 啊，不用，不用啊，不用，谢谢啊。Telemarketers, sorry. Anyways, so you guys see what I'm going with this. You guys see my point. I mean, I lost my train of thought messing with these guys. Anyways, you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm going to diversify the portfolio into more index-based things. I want to do that as soon as possible. Start building them out 100 shares at a time. Not selling anything. That's really all I got for you guys. Oh, one more thing. If you guys are still here, I put some thought into this because some people said they wanted daily videos. And I was thinking about it, but the more I think about it, the less I want to do it. So sorry, let me have a drink. I'm drinking some coffee. The more I think about it, the less I want to do it. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I don't want to work myself into a job, right? I mean, I don't mind making these videos, and I like making these videos to document my journey and to share it with people. Hopefully they'll learn some stuff from it, or they can see if it's right for them or not. But I don't want to make this a job. Like, I'm not doing YouTube for money, and I don't need to do this every day. So I don't think I'm going to do the videos every day. But that being said, I do have an idea about how I want to schedule my videos in the future. So I'll share that with you guys. So if you're here on the Dividend Nomad channel, probably on Wednesday, I would like to make a video, because Wednesday is usually the declaration date for most of the high yield paying dividends and stuff. I can tell you on the declaration date what I plan to do on the X date, which is usually the following day. So I can tell you in advance what I want to do. So those of y'all who are interested in kind of doing those things, you can do that if you want. I'm not giving y'all advice. I'm just telling y'all in advance what I would do, so you have an idea what's in my mind or how my mind's working. The next video will probably be on a Saturday, because usually I get my dividend payments on Friday, but it's usually Friday night when I'm asleep. because I'm in China, right? But the time difference. So I don't get paid till Friday night when I'm already asleep. So I don't see them till Saturday when I wake up. So on Saturday, I can do a weekly recap video and share with you, the portfolio recap, share with you what happened in the portfolio, what I have purchased on Thursday before, and share with you the dividends I receive and all that good stuff, right? I can do those videos on Saturday. And then I'll do one more video on Sunday, which is 3 videos per week. So I'll do one on Sunday, and the Sunday video will be based on the small account portfolio, because that account, I just gained access to that account again. I was locked out. Now I can get back in. So I'll make some videos on that one every Sunday. So that's 3 videos per week. And that's really all I'm going to do. I don't really want to do more than that. Unless something special happens, if something comes up, then I might make a random video out of the blue for those things. But the normal videos, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So for those of you who are interested or keep up with that, or you can just hit the bell. Hopefully YouTube will tell you. They might not tell you, I don't know, but hopefully they'll tell you. So that's the plan for the video uploads or whatever, in case you're interested. And yeah, so anyway, get back to my coffee here. Hopefully I didn't talk too long. Hopefully you understood what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I lost my train of thought due to that stupid phone call. But anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, and hopefully y'all make some money. See you next time.